Before the scroll unfurls, before the flame flickers, there was a silence, a breath held between worlds. Wyndi stumbled from the now silent ruins. Dead trees surrounded her, reaching to the night sky like claws trying to rip stars from their velvet bed. Small white stones almost glowed in the moonlight, leading her down the hill and away from the bloodshed behind her. One eye was swollen shut, the other barely open between a cut on her forehead and a welt growing on her cheek. She resolutely followed the little white stones that she could barely see. A shadow darted across the moon's face, too small and too quick to affect the moon's light, but it was there, and it was following the erratic pixie. It followed her through the night, dark and silent as the woods. It hovered each time she stumbled. It nearly landed next to her once when she fell, but it stayed above her, watching as she crawled to the roots of a tree, and, with little effort, disappeared from sight. She woke a few times, not registering the warmth of her little hollow, the light that filtered through the green moss and leaves that sheltered her. Within arm's reach, she would find plump berries that were sweet and tangy, their juice almost cool against her fever-hot skin. There would also be nuts waiting for her, the softer, mellower ones she would eat, the hard, bitter ones she saved for later. She was still too exhausted and fevered to worry about how they got there. She briefly savored them, and sleep would claim her once more. The little hollow was comfortably warm, soft and spongy around her. She tentatively stretched fingers out over her mossy bed, a gentle rustling of leaves as she moved, and another weight shifted against her. She froze, her eyes opening slowly to a shadowed light. A soot-colored shape separated from her, and the movement from both of them made some of the moss and leaf shelter fall away. A tiny bat, smaller than any she had ever seen, tilted its head to look at her, bright blue eyes peering up from a dark face. "Thank you for the food. I presume that was all you?" Her voice was rough, and she had to clear her throat a few times, but that didn't seem to bother the little bat. It straightened and fluffed its wings, as well as any creature with leather wings can fluff them. "Thank you. I could use some water, though. I don't suppose you know where there's a creek or a river, or even a small lake?" She crawled out of the little shelter and stood carefully, her legs aching, her feet tender. She tried to flex her wings and doubled over in pain as soon as she moved them. When she could breathe again without gasping, she stood carefully. The little bat fluttered up until it was just above and in front of her. "Well, that will teach me to be careless. I think I broke them." She winced as a movement made her back and wings twinge, then glanced at her new little friend. "I guess I'm walking, little one." The little bat bobbed up and down and started to fly off, only to turn around and come back for her. The little bat did indeed know where there was a lake and led her to it. She drank, bathed carefully, then just lay on the warm ground, letting the sun dry her and her clothes. Little Bat seemed to think this was a fine idea and lay next to her. They lay there together, basking in the sun's warmth and listening to the wind ruffling the leaves and the small, quiet sounds of life around the still water. Wyndi was actually able to take a look at the little creature who had helped her out. It was small, even for a bat. Maybe it was a runt of its siblings and had gotten lost. She tried asking it, but the only answer she received was a tiny, warm body pressed against her. She let it do what it wanted, not having the heart to drive it away. Besides, it was nice to talk to someone, even if they were a bat. Wyndi decided it was time to leave, and the two fell into a rhythm. The little bat would fly ahead, scouting for them, and when it slept, it would crawl into her jacket, its weight against her warm and comforting, even if its musty scent reminded her of mushrooms. When it woke, peeking out to see how far she had traveled, she would reach up and gently scratch its head, its fur a little wiry, but not unpleasantly so. It helped her to find the river that fed the lake, and together they were able to follow it down to a village. From there, she was able to find medicine and directions, and with those, she and her little bat friend were able to make it home. The scroll fades, but the flame endures. This has been a character narration by AWDD. If you would like your character's backstory handwritten in a way that embodies your character, please visit our Etsy store, AWDD Legacies.